Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, welcome back to the Timmy Tom Show, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
I think today got some headline reactions.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah. And they'll always fit with our theme, you know. But I got some headline reactions today that are kind of interesting and very sad, but they just kind of prove human nature and what the Lord's been saying all along. So, check this out. So we'll get right into this, folks. But before we begin, consider subscribing. We would really appreciate it. Send this to a friend. And thank you all for the support. We've been posting a lot of reels on Instagram, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good hits. So, people always say, Christians shouldn't be involved in politics.
Yes, they say that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my answer to that is God says he created everything and he's everywhere and he should be in everything.
Exactly.
We don't always follow him, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't be there. He is there.
So Proverbs says that when the wicked come to power, the people groan. But when the righteous triumph, there is great rejoicing. So what's interesting is no matter how someone feels about Trump, I think God used him because not only did Trump put 3 Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade, he also appointed a lot of federal judges, state judges. One of the Trump-appointed judges just permanently blocked Biden's oil and gas leasing, pausing on federal lands. Basically, you can drill on federal lands again.
Well, yes.
Which brings down our gas prices.
It should do that, but evil people find ways around all kinds of things, unfortunately. And, let me qualify what I mean by evil. I told Tim a long time ago, because my folks told me, don't listen to what people say, watch what they do, and that will tell you what their character really is, because people can say anything they want. So when you look at what people do and you say, okay, let me go to the Bible and see, is that the way God would have handled it? Is that a godly point of view?
Yeah.
Or is that goal that they're trying to reach something that God would say yes? And are they going about it in a way that God would approve? And so I try to judge my actions and others' actions on that basis. Am I doing what God wants the way he wants it? Or am I doing what I want and I'm hoping that God's going to say, hey, that's really a good thing and it's okay?
Mm-hmm. Check out this next headline.
Okay.
A judge just blocked the military from discharging Marines who object to the COVID vaccine mandate on religious grounds.
Wow. You see.
So this is why it's important for us to be involved. If you don't elect the right leaders, they're not only just it's the president. The president elects cabinet members, housing secretary, education, and also
transportation,
judges who have the checks and balances to block that vaccine mandate. So the military, especially the Marines, don't lose their job.
It reminds me of something in the book of Revelation, chapter 17, when the Antichrist, or 13. I'm sorry, 13. When the Antichrist is in power. Yeah, 17 is Babylon. When the Antichrist is in power in chapter 13, one of the things that he does is he forces everybody to carry his mark,
right? Either
on their hand or on their forehead. And without the mark, you cannot buy or sell anything.
Kind of like a mask or a vaccine mandate.
Kind of like what's being done today. People are losing their jobs because they refuse to get vaccinated with a vaccine that the truth is does not work. In fact, the most of the people in the hospitals today are people who've already been vaccinated, or like our president who's been vaccinated twice, boosted twice, and still had COVID twice since that time.
Right.
But the real tragedy is that the people in power are using that power. So if you're in the military and you didn't get vaccinated and you say, I have strong religious beliefs about not being vaccinated in this case, they say, sorry,
you
lose your job, you're out.
Thankfully, though.
And there are businesses that are doing the same thing, especially governmental businesses.
Right. Thankfully, though, the judge blocked it because what's very interesting is the new CDC guidelines, which came out on the 11th, are pretty much what we've been saying the whole time. The new CDC guidelines say those exposed to the virus are no longer required to quarantine. That's very interesting. So if you're sick, you can
Wait
go...
a minute. The virus changed. The virus said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to infect anybody any longer, so I'm going to change."
Well, check this out.
Oh, that's right. Makes sense.
Unvaccinated people now have the same guidance as vaccinated people. That means your vaccine is worthless.
Yeah, if you're vaccinated and have to do this and this and this and can do this and this and this, and I'm not vaccinated and can do exactly the same thing that you're doing, what good was the vaccine?
Students can stay in class after being exposed to the virus.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad because we just shut down the whole country.
Well,
over everything.
There are still colleges. I know a young lady who's going to start college for her last year pretty soon, and the school already sent out a notice saying you must be wearing a mask on campus at all times.
Well, they're not following CDC guidelines.
Gee, when the CDC guidelines wanted you to do that, they were the first people to jump on the bandwagon and say, we're going to do what the CDC says. You know what that says to me?
What does it say, Grandpa?
There's a great dishonesty amongst those in authority in many places in America today. Yep. Not all authority, but many authority, those who are in power at the present time, are absolutely dishonest. And I'll go a step further. I'll say they're ungodly.
Yeah.
And I'll go a step further and I'll say they really are motivated by the most ungodly, which is Satan.
Yep.
So if you're a godly person, you should examine who you stand behind and who you back and who you vote for and how you deal with things.
Can I read the last part?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. It's no longer recommended to screen those without symptoms. Remember all the testing that you had to do? Even if you didn't have symptoms, either to come back in the USA or to go somewhere. Like if you had to go there, you had to be either show your vaccine passport or you had to be tested to show you were negative. Well, now, if you don't have symptoms, you shouldn't get tested.
Right.
This is all what we've been saying the whole time.
It is. It is.
The only difference between conspiracy theory and truth is just a couple months.
Yes. And I like the person who said, I'm looking for a conspiracy theory to hang on to because all the ones I had before have come true.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Well, it's true, and this vaccination thing is a real. I cannot go to Canada. I cannot enter Canada because I'm not vaccinated.
It's fine with me. I don't want to go to Canada.
Well, sometimes there are job openings that I could apply for in Canada, but I can't apply for them. There are many job openings that I can't apply for here in this country.
How come you can't identify as trans-vaccinated?
Trans-vaccinated?
Yeah.
I see myself as vaccinated.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really a vaccinated person. I don't know. Feelings are only allowed in certain specific areas, but not in other areas. Yeah.
Well, maybe trans-racist. No. Speaking of racism.
Yes.
I was just supposed to lead us into our next headline.
Yes.
Did you hear about Minneapolis, the school district?
Minneapolis School District, no.
So Minneapolis is where all the riots happened.
Right. Oh, I know.
Floydapalooza. Well, the school district now, in an effort to fight racism, okay, they're going to fight racism with racism.
Good.
They're going to lay off white teachers before minority teachers.
There you go, because that's not racist.
Nope, not at
all. Well, I too like it when in the name of destroying racism, we're going to put students of color all together and give them special privileges, because that's not racist. But if it were white people separated and given special privileges, that would be racist.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. Is there any sense in things that people do?
No.
Does it make any sense?
No, there's not. I mean, that's what happens, though, when you continually define people by race, color, class, other than their character.
That's it.
That's one thing that our founding fathers didn't do. They distinguished people by their character.
Something that Martin Luther King did, too. And he said, I dream about the day when a man is judged on the content of his character, not the color of his skin.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King knew that went both ways. You can't judge a white person by the color of their skin. You should judge them by the conduct of their character.
Exactly.
Whether they're white, black, yellow, brown, red, or any of the other colors that may exist for people today.
It's very true. It is very true. Well, check this last one out. In Texas, The Bible is being removed from libraries in the Texas school district. Keller Independent School District in Texas are reviewing 41 books, and the Bible is one of the ones they're removing.
Yep.
You know what Benjamin Rush talked about? One of the founders of a Declaration and the Constitution.
And didn't he actually compose the First Amendment?
Maybe.
I think it was
But
Benjamin Rush.
Benjamin Rush wrote a letter about why the Bible should be the main textbook in schools.
Mm-hmm.
He said that Christianity is the only true and perfect religion, and that you're going to understand it. The best way to understand it is by reading the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way to understand it. He also said the Bible is the precondition for truth itself.
Wow.
In other words, all truth is from the Bible. And so we already looked at our last episode, what we talked about last time, how the Constitution was influenced heavily.
Birthed by the Bible.
By the Bible,
Yeah.
because our founding fathers knew it. So this school system that wants to remove the Bible are basically saying everything that I'm built on, I just want to get rid of. It's like if I was on the Empire State Building
Mm-hmm.
and I had blocks of C4 on the base of it. And I say, I want freedom. I don't want to live with gravity anymore, right? And all of it's built on the foundation of the Bible and the founding fathers. And I say, this is wrong. This is racist. We don't want the Bible anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to live forever. I'm going to float. And then you pull the lever and it blows up the C4 and it crumbles everything. That's exactly what these people are doing.
Mm-hmm. And I know what happens to the guy who's on top of the Empire State Building when he blows up the building.
Well, he's transgravitational, so he flies.
The day is coming when he's going to fly, all right.
Yeah. But if you want to listen to our last episode, click here.
Yep.
And that's all.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time.
See you.